Sorry, this is not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Give you the paper. Had this problem yesterday. Let me see if I could do it. If I can't do it, well, I might know by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts, and I'm Elijah. And this is the program that you're listening to. Those who was on a different channel, I hope you understand. I'm not used to this. I don't think I'll get used to it. I really don't. I really don't. But who knows? God knows. That what makes it so perfect. He knows. All right, let me see. There you go. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts. That's the message the Lord God gave unto me to give unto you. And that's found in Zechariah chapter 4, verses 4 through 6. Zechariah chapter 4, verses 4 through 6. Okay, and also he said, I'm going to send Elijah to before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And that is found in Malachi chapter 4, verse 6, by suggest chapter 4, verses 4 through 6. And then he said, go to Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. Read to you. Verse 1. Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. And behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom you seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, say the Lord of hosts. But yesterday I had done a 3-hour live broadcast. I had done it on YouTube, thinking I would be able to upload it to, done it on Facebook, thinking I would be able to upload it on YouTube, but it didn't work out like that. So we all gonna have to forgive me. But it's on YouTube. Definitely on YouTube on the Behold Elijah. Facebook. It's definitely on Facebook. Not on YouTube, but Facebook. Definitely on Facebook. And hopefully that you can go there and read it on Facebook. So you're gonna have to give me a second to calm down. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a second to calm down because that's how it is with me right now. I'm excited because, man, this been a long time coming. Yes, it has. It's been a long time coming. And I'm sorry for those who was watching on the other channel for 10 a.m. to come up. But you have to forgive me because I'm not used to this live thing. This is just my second day doing it. And I don't think I'm going to be doing it too much more. I really don't. No, I don't. Yeah. Dreams, I had dreams, but I didn't remember. And then ask the Lord God to bring them back to my remembrance because that time is up, man. And this morning, man, it breaks my heart to see what Israel has become. Before I get into that, I have a couple of dreams for you. They're old dreams. They're old dreams. I have them for you, but let's go into this book right here. The Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. When you go into our father Judah, that's in any book, anything, you can download this. There's no such thing as I can't find these books anymore because they're all over the Google apps and all the different apps because now they can make money off. See, at first they couldn't make no money off because since they become popular, they can make all types of money off. See, that's what's going on. People don't understand what's happening, man. They make all types of money. Awful. So that's what's happening. So let's go. I'm going to our father Judah, and he told you because this what happened to me this morning on Facebook. And it's always happening now. People, our brother in Africa, our brother in Africa. Every time I get on Facebook, I get a whole lot. I guess that's what the Facebook thing they put it in because it's a design plan. Yeah, it's a design plan. So I go to, they come from Africa, and every time they put it up, all of them, women and the men, both, yeah, both, trying to get me to send them some type of money. So we poor, we need money, but that's a lie. That's a lie. Yeah, I know that's a lie. Yeah. So we go into father. We're going to let's see, I got, I guess it's chapter 18, XV1, XVI, chapter 18. And I know what evils, this is our Father Judah talk, and I know what evils you will do in the last days. Beware therefore, my children, of fornication, the love of money, and the hearken to the Judah your father. And so when you go into, I'm gonna be here a while, so y'all can go do what y'all want and come back and replay it over. I'm gonna be here a while because I want to get this final message out. And then after that, it's in, whatever the Lord God say or do, tell me to do whatever after that, but I don't know. But anyway, so he said, I know what evils you will do in the last day. Beware therefore, my children, of fornication, and the love of money, and hearken to your father Judah. And that's what becoming. Go on Facebook, because I have Facebook at about 3 or 4 Facebook. That's how this man had it figured out. Atherism, what they call it? I'm saying atherism, but that's aneurysm. No, not aneurysm. It's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. But anyway, so we have these rhythms that he have do it, and then he separate it. And so you get all these people that's into fornication, and the people that's plunderers and covetous. That's the type of people you get. And man, it hurts my heart because man, what Judah have become, man, and they're all over, man. From every place you go, they want to befriend. What you befriending me for? You befriending me for what? Monies? That's what you're doing. For monies, yeah. And all of them had the same story. I'm poor. Well, I'm poor too. But I have the Lord God on my side. He supplies my every need, not my wants. My every needs. But you have a lot of wants. And what you want is not that of the Lord God. What you want is foolishness of the devil. And it's not going to last too long. No, it's not going to last too long. Why? Because when you go to Proverbs say, ill-gotten gain should not last long. Yeah, that's what Proverbs said. And so all them gains that you get by hustling, lying, I did it too. I felt in that foolishness too, businessman and all that, entrepreneur, businessman, and all that's a big force. That's just a devil way of tricking you to get you to do his will, and you're doing it. Oh yeah. For these things will draw you from the law of God. See? For these things will draw you from the law of God and blind the inclination of the soul and teach arrogance, yeah, and suffer not a man to have compassion upon his neighbor. Because that's what he do. Yeah, man, that's what Lord God told you in the book of Isaiah and all other prophets. They was hard on the ancients. And they hard on old people. And they don't have no respect. You don't need them. Well, you got to understand, when you're after money, they don't care nothing. They only after their God, mammon. That's what they're after. Yeah. All right. And blind the inclination of the soul and teach arrogance, and suffer not a man to have compassion upon his neighbor. They rob his soul of all goodness and oppress him with the toils and trouble and drive away sleep from him. Now, toils and trouble, what Jesus said about the soul that went out and to sow some seeds and how they felt. Yeah, and then one got choked by the fairs and the cares of this world. Yeah. And that's what's happening. You get choked by the fairs and cares of this world. All right. All right. And oppress him with the toils and trouble and drive away sleep from him and to devour his flesh. Somebody messed me and he needed monies. So I had to tell him, say, man, she not, because I went through the same thing too. I told her, say, that she ain't the first one to get pregnant, and she ain't gonna be the last one to get pregnant. And that's what you're going through. I've been through it too before. And that's, you have to tell them the truth. Don't lie to them, tell them the truth. Yeah, because they think it's the inner world because she's pregnant. Come on, man. That's life. It was meant to be that way. All right. And drive away sleep from him and devour his flesh. And it hindered him the sacrifice of God, and he remembered not the blessing of God. He hearkened not to the prophet when he speaketh. See, I'm a prophet, I speak. They don't hearken to me. I tell them all the time, I say, man, get rid of that, man. That's foolishness, man. That's not going to help you. You're going to be right there back tomorrow doing the same old hustling, doing the same old thing in bed. I told him, say, the same thing you asking me for, you should be asking God for. That's what you should be asking. They won't do that. Because they know what they're doing. Well, okay, and God knows too, because He's seeing here everything. I'll get into that today. And so he hearkened not to the prophet when he speaketh, resisteth the word of goodness. And he is a slave to two contrary passions and cannot obey God. Two contrary passions and cannot obey God. Well, let's find out. Because they have blinded his soul. He walked in the day as in the night. My children, the love of money leadeth to idolatry. Because when it lead astray through money, when led astray through money, men name gods those who are not gods, and it causes him who have it to fall into madness. And then we gone through that. Our father Abraham taught us and left with these things. And our father Judah telling you again what not to become, what not to get involved with. These things not to touch. Get away from them. Because man. All I can do is tell you. All I can do is tell you. You ain't got to listen to me like you say. The Lord God said you ain't going to listen to me. God said, when I first got into that, came back to the Holy Commandments and doing what God said, thus say the Lord back in the Holy Covenant. And then God sent me to Jeremiah. He said, they ain't going to listen to you because they don't even listen to me. That's what he said. Yeah. My children, the love it to fall into madness. For the sake of money, I lost my children and not, I lost my children and had not mercy on me because I did it in ignorance. And the prince of deceit blinded me, and I was ignorant as a man and as flesh, being corrupted through sins, and I learned my own weakness while thinking myself invincible. I learned my own weakness while thinking myself invincible. That same thing happened to me. I had to tell the man this morning, I said, man, I had to tell him, I said, man, don't waste your life being a damn fool like I was. And I was. Yeah, I sure was. Running behind these things after God came into my life and showed and revealed himself to me. I went to this church house and got bound all over again. And I was serving Lord. People tell me, oh no, I got to go to church. Not showing mercy as God told me to show mercy, but I have to go to church. Somebody get on me and everything like that, still make me humble. I get loud, clamorous, and boastful, and still be humble. And they called me just what I was, a Christian. Wasn't a saint, wasn't righteous, wasn't nothing. I was a Christian. Well, yeah, I'm just telling you. All I can do is tell you this, like, and anything come along, oh, I got this, I can handle this, still putting it in God's hand and humbling myself. Being a damn fool. Yeah, the anger rests in the bosom of what? Fools. And so when I see all these women and men get loud, clamor, we've been programmed to do that. Yeah, that television taught you how. Television and all them other things, learning from each other, and taught you how to be loud, clamorous, and boastful. How you have to retaliate, and you have to get them before they get you, and all that foolishness. Yeah, that's what you taught. You've been taught that through Sunday school, Sabbath school, television, high school, college, everything. All of them teach you the same thing. Not to serve the Lord their God. All I can do is tell you like he have told me. Don't worry. Just don't worry. All right, so let's keep going. The spirit that wait upon man. Know therefore, my children, that two spirits wait upon man, the spirit of truth and the spirit of deceit. And in the midst of is the spirit of understanding of the mind, which is belonging to turn whatsoever it will. And the works of truth and the works of deceit are written upon the hearts of men, each one of them the Lord knoweth. And there is no time at which the works of men can be hid. For on the heart itself have they been written down before the Lord. And the spirit of truth testified all the things and accuseth all. And the sinner is burnt up by his own heart and cannot raise his face to the judge. And that's what's going on. That's why when I tell them young men and things like that, that they need to trust in God and go fast and let God reveal Himself. They can't do that because they know what's in their heart. They know what they're doing because that's what our Father had given us. Because I'm gonna go over that too. I went over that yesterday. With our Father, ascension of our Father Isaiah, I went over that yesterday. But let's go. Let's go to the turmoils of the last time. I'm getting to this about Father Abraham. But I have to get to this first, because when I go to Father Abraham, then all this gonna fall in line, like the Lord God has shown me how it's gonna fall in line. All right, here we go. Turmoil in the last time, and thou should be turmoil. That's what the name of turmoils in the last time is. 21. You have chapter 21, chapter 22. XXI, XXII. And thou shalt be amongst them as the sea. For as on the sea, just and unjust are tossed about, some taken into captivity, while some are enriched. So also shall every race of men be in thee. We know that already. So shall be impoverished. Some shall be impoverished, being taken captives, and others grow rich by plundering and the possessions of others. So we know that happened. For the king should be a sea monster. They shall swallow men like fishes. And the sons and daughters of free men should they enslave. You know that happened. Houses, land, flocks, and money should they plunder. And with the flesh of many shall they wrongfully feed the ravens and the cranes. And they shall advance in evil and covetous and uplifting. And that's where you at. Yeah, man, all that evil and covetousness, man, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. There's no place that you can't look and cannot see it or find it. It is everywhere, just like the Lord God told you how it was going to be in the last days. And it's that. Yeah. Okay. There shall be false prophets like tempests, and they shall persecute all the righteous men. And the Lord shall bring upon them division one against another. And there shall be continual wars in Israel. And among men another race shall my kingdom be brought to it, until the salvation of Israel shall come. So that's where we're at now. Until the period of God of righteousness, that Jacob in the hope that he will not destroy the kingdom for my seed forever. That's the covenant that he made with our father Judah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into this. And this and after I get this, after I get out of this, then I'll get into Father Abraham. Okay. This is the 23 to 25. The sins of Israel, regeneration in the messianic minors and demons of error. You should make your daughters singing girls and harlots, and you should mingle in the abomination of the Gentile, for which things sake the Lord should bring upon you famine, pestilence, death, and the sword, the beleaguering by enemies, the revilings of friends, the slaughter of children, the rape of wives, the plunder of possession, the burning of the temple of God, and the laying waste of the land, the enslavement of yourselves among the Gentiles, and they should make some of you eunuchs for their wives, until the Lord visit you. And with perfect heart you repent and walk in all his commandments. With perfect heart you repent and walk in all his commandments. He bring you up from the captivity among the Gentiles. So that's where you're at now. You repent with the perfect heart, just like we done when we was in Egypt. And the cries went up when we was in the iron furnace. And the cries went up, and the Lord God came and got us. Well, that's what's going on right now. We repent. We get back in the bonds of forever covenant. We're keeping all his commandments and getting back in the bonds of forever covenant. Okay, that's what we're doing. And then it say what? With perfect heart repent and walk in all his commandments, he will bring you up from the captivity from among the Gentiles. And so that's the consummation. That was going on now. So the next thing you know, the Lord God going to take it from out this what we're in and bring us into the wilderness. I mean, I can't listen to none of my videos and don't know what's going on. Can't do it. You can't just not do it. You gotta do this thing. I see this thing say live, but man, I could something wrong with the camera or something. Might just be the internet, but I figured they was gonna mess with it. They was gonna do something to aggravate you. See, that's why the Lord God tell you to have patience, because anything they do can aggravate you. All right, that's what this is about. Anything they did couldn't aggravate Jesus, the Lord God. Man, they did Lord God everything. Didn't aggravate him, didn't upset him or do anything. Only one thing upset the Lord God when they was in that temple selling, selling their wares in that temple, just like they're doing right now today. Yeah, all of them doing it. Yeah, all of them doing it, selling their wares in the temple of God. All of them. Even from the pastors, the preachers, the teachers, all of them doing the same thing, selling their wares right there in the temple of God. You want to do something, what we call it, networking. You want to do some networking, you go to the church house. Yeah. Rise from you from Jacob in peace, and a man shall rise from my seed like the son of righteousness, walking with the Son of Man in meekness and righteousness. And no sin shall be found in him, and the heavens shall be opened unto him, and pour out the Spirit, even the blessing of the Holy Father. He shall pour out the Spirit of grace upon you, and ye shall be unto him the sons and truth. And ye shall walk in his commandments first and last, the branch of the Most High, and the fountain giving light unto all. Then shall the scepter of my kingdom shine forth, and from your root shall rise a stem, and from it shall grow a rod of righteousness to the Gentile. The judge to judge and save all them that call upon the name of the Lord. That was our Father telling you there. And after these things, so this is where you're at right now. You have to listen. The reason why you have to listen, and you have to listen, why? Because in order for you to get understanding, in order for someone to teach you, you got to do what? Listen. It's so important that you be a listener, that you be a listener of the word. It's very important. Yeah, because if you can't listen, then you can't be taught. Okay? Because you refuse to listen. I had a friend of mine, he's gone now. He passed away. But every time you get a conversation, he wanted me to be a listener. And he be the only one that speak. And then when the listener tried to tell him something, he wouldn't accept it. He wouldn't. Yeah. So you gotta learn how to keep your mouth shut when wisdom is speaking. Don't worry about them doing all that stuff to video. That's why I put it up certain times will start, so you can see how foolish they are and see how evil and wicked they are. That's why I did that, because I know what they was going to do. See, and the other time I just record my video and put it up. But you have to see for yourself that these people are evil and wicked, and they mean you no good at all, and you still follow. Yeah, you still follow. You refuse to repent. But don't worry. Don't worry. The Lord God told you, I'm not going to leave you totally unpunished of the present me, the powers of glory Simeon, the heaven movement, the earth Issachar, the sea Zebulun, the mountains Joseph, the tabernacle. Videos are all over. I went in order, just like he said, put in order. I went in order with all them. And I told you all the prophecies of us in the last days and what's going to become of us. I showed you all the prophecy of what's happening to us right now. But you have to type in there, behold Elijah, the prophecy, behold Elijah Zebulun, behold Elijah Reuben. You have to type it in because these people are wicked. And anybody else there, you just type it in and everything flash up for them, but not for me. Oh, man, that's how it is. You can't. That's why the Lord God told me and taught me, said, don't cry over spilled soda. There's nothing you can do about it. You just go on. Just like every time they gave you Black History Month. Oh yeah, they want you to have that. They want you to know that. Why? Because that's the way that them keeping you down, reminding you of your place. You see, that's what that's about. And you think, oh, they're celebrating what we went through. Well, how are you gonna celebrate somebody being a slave? How would you do that? Tell me. That's a question. How would you celebrate someone being a slave? I mean, it's just a question. I used to have a live boat, but I don't even see it on there now. I mean, that's just a question. How would you do that? But you do it every year. Then you celebrate the little accomplishments. Dr. Charles Drew and Atticus, whoever his name was, I can't think of the man's name now. But all that's to keep you distracted from what's really going on. Because all you celebrating all them people and doing all those things doesn't change one thing in your life. Only one thing gonna change everything in your life. Repent. Okay? So the Lord God church taught me, said, man, don't be crying over that spilled soda. You're alive, you're well. You can change things. All you have to do is humble yourself before the throne of grace, call on the holy name, Lord God, Jesus, whose name is excellent. Repent with your whole heart. Keep all his commandments, just like he told you that. When you repent with all his commandments, in the bad and the binds forever covenant, and things gonna go well for you. So we around to chapter 28. So that's what I did. And things start going well. That's why he's telling you to do it. Things gonna go well, man. Stop crying over that. That's the past. That can't do nothing for you. It's all right to remember the past. It's right. It's all right for you to remember it. But don't live in it. Don't live in it. Don't cry over it. Because you got other things. You got children right now that are being born, and your grandchildren coming. Then you gonna what? You gonna keep your children, your grandchildren under this evil and wicked system, or you gonna repent and get them out of this thing? It's up to you. All right. Okay. And you shall be people of the Lord and have one tongue, and there shall be there no spirit of deceit of the Belial, and he shall be cast into the fire forever. And they who have died in grief shall rise in joy. And they who are poor for the Lord's sake shall be made rich. And they who are put to death for the Lord's sake shall awake to life. And the horse of Jacob shall run in joyfulness, and the eagles of Israel shall fly in gladness. Like they're gonna take up wings like the eagle and fly and lift up on high, in the book of Isaiah. Yeah. And all the people shall glorify the Lord forever. That's what we see. Observe that the last word to his sons, his death and burial. Observe therefore, my children, all the law of the Lord, and there is hope for all them who hold fast unto his ways. And he said to them, behold, I died before the eyes of they 119 years old. That no one bury me in the costly apparel. See? Let no one bury me in costly apparel, nor tear open my bowels. And that's what they're doing to you now. You're being buried in costly apparel, and what they're doing? Yeah, what they doing? An autopsy on you. Yeah, where you see that thing even be cut open your bowels and things. But this shall they, yeah. Let no one bury me in costly apparel, nor tear open my bowels. For this shall they who are kings do, and carry me up to Hebron with you. And Judah, when he had said these things, fell asleep, and the sun did according to whatsoever command he did there. Because before I read the book of Hashir, J-S-H-R, all I thought, and that's how these people teaching you. People teaching you lies. All I thought, the only person I thought that was bought out of Egypt, who bones was bought out of Egypt, was King Joseph. But that's a lie. All our fathers' bones was bought, all 12 brothers' bones was bought out of Egypt. Yeah, all of them. And so when you you would have seen all them people marching and eat, and so many of them say, man, whoa, why did you have them caskets with them? Yeah, and that's what they did. So all I can do is give it to you as you're giving it to me. That's all I can do, man. And it's over with. And people looking for something else. People think, oh, this virus. No. This virus is the beginning of it. And really, it's just not the gist of it. It's not. No, it's not. Yeah, I'm just telling you. All I'm just telling you. Yeah, I'm just telling you. All right. Well, let's go. Let's go. Now we get the apocryphal, the palata. Forgive me. Say, I'm going to say the apocalypse of Abraham. The apocalypse of Abraham. Excuse me for a moment or two. About time I get to about the second hour, I'll be right. Yeah, because I'm excited. I'm glad that the Lord God brought me this far. Because when I first started out on this journey, and the Lord God had me do certain things, I said, well, I guess I'm finished now. Lord God, the Holy Spirit voice, you hear that voice, And the voice told me, said, you haven't even begun yet. Just like that. That been years ago. Yeah, I thought it was over. He said, no, you haven't even begun yet. And then I started doing all those other things. Yeah. Yeah. So uh so when I read in books and things, when I read these books and things, what these people do, they put their introductions and all that into the books. That's to get you thrown off. That's to get you to think like they're thinking. But I just go and start reading the scriptures because I don't want to think like you think I want, and I don't want you to hear your opinion. I want everything that is, I read everything because I want to know what the Lord God Himself, because this is our testimony, this is our life that they try to heal, try to steal, try to hide. Yeah, just like them people over there on that piece of dirt, them Jews who call themselves God, they're not Jews. Those people that call themselves Jews but are not, and they say that they are God's chosen people, that's a lie. Oh yeah, that's a lie, man. There's the main one who started all this stuff. And then, man, last night someone came to me and I was listening to it. And Hollywood doing all this evil and wicked stuff, but nobody never said nothing about how evil and wicked Hollywood is. All the evil and wicked stuff going on, and nobody not saying nothing about it. Then you know that them demons, demons can do a lot of stuff. Don't underestimate your enemy. Your enemy is doing a whole lot. Yeah. Abraham conversion from idolatry. On the day when I planted the gods of my father, Terah, and the gods of Nahor, his brother, when I was searching as to who the mighty God in truth is, I, Abraham, at the time when it fell upon my lot, when I fulfilled the service of the sacrifices of my father. You can go online and get this book and read right along. My father, Terah, to his gods of wood, stone, gold, and silver, brass, and iron. Having entered into their temple for service, I found the god whose name was Miramat, who was hewn out of stone, falling forward at the feet of iron god Nahor, fall forward at the feet of an iron god named Nahor. And it came to pass when I saw it, my heart was perplexed, and I considered in my mind that I should not be able to bring him back to his place. Abraham alone, because he was heavy, and being a large stone, I went forth and made it known to my father, and he entered with me, and we both of us moved him, the God, forward, so that we might bring him back to his place. His head fell from him while I was still holding him by the head. And it came to pass when my father saw that the head of Miramat had fallen from me, he said to me, Abraham. And I said, here am I. And he said to me, bring me an axe of a small ones from the house. And I brought it to him, and he hewed another Miramat out of another stone without head, and the head which had been thrown down from Miramat he placed upon it, and the rest of Miramat he shattered. And he made 5 other gods and gave them to me, and commanded me to sell them outside the city of the town. I saddled my father's ass and placed them upon it, and we went towards the end to sell them. And lo, the merchant from the Vandana, they would say Vandana, in Syria was traveling with camels going to Egypt to trade. And I spoke with them, and one of their camels uttered a groan, and the ass took fright. You don't say fright, it took fright, and sprung away and upset the gods. And 3 of them were smashed, and 2 were preserved. And it came to pass when the Syrians saw that I had gods, they said to me, why didst thou not tell us that thou hadst gods? Then we would have bought them before the ass heard the sound of the camel, and they would not have been lost. Give us at any rate the gods that remain, and we will give thee the proper price for the broken gods, and also for the gods that have been preserved. But I was concerned in my heart as how could I bring to my father the purchase price. And the 3 broken ones I cast into the water of the river Gur, which was at that place, and they sunk into the depths, and there was nothing more of them. When I was still going away, my heart was perplexed within me, and my mind was distracted. And I said in my heart, what evil is this that my father is doing? Is not he rather the God of his gods, since they come into existence through his chisel and laths and his wisdom? And is not rather fitting that they should worship my father, since they are his work? What is this delusion of my father in his works? That's Father Abraham. And that's what you're doing. That what God tell you over and over again. That's what you serve. I used to do it too. Go to work, see something I want, and go to work and get the money. First, I go get the God mammon. Go to work, get the God mammon, so I can go buy a bus. That's what I did. Are you doing the same thing? It might be the God of fine raiment. I used to get that and go to church with that. Because when you go to church, you got to have all those gods in order to go into that church house to serve who? Your gods. To serve that false God. Yeah, you serve the false God when you go to church house. Because I read you into the book. I read to you yesterday, Ascension of Father Isaiah. And what the Lord God tell you in the books all the time. That's what he tell you all the time. He tell you how they got false prophets and false priests and false teachers. And where do you find these people at? Church house, synagogue, sanctuary, high places, temple, and tabernacle. And you go on down there and pray 5 times a day, facing east. Yeah, go over there and have that, what they call communion. It's not really communion. It's not. And that's what you go and do. And you got to put on your clothes and strut. Yeah, man, come on, man. Get all that foolishness. Because I came from the Lord God himself and went right there in that church house and got bound with all that foolishness. And that's what you have done also. And then you think that's of the Lord God. It's not. No, it's not. Behold, Merimoth fell and could not raise his own temple, nor could I by myself move him until my father came, and 2 of us moved him. Now that is found in the book of Isaiah. So you want to know what Isaiah was talking about. Let's see if we can go there right there. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I want to read that part too. I want to get to that part too, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Yeah, well, burnt part of it in the fire. Let's see. Burnt part of it. Well, let's see if I want to get it. There you go. Then we going, oh man, come on. Right will be going book of Isaiah. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get it. Because I want you to know because there's a reason praise for everything in the sun. And you listen to these pastors and preachers, and they don't know. No, because they knew, then they would tell you, well, go to this book and you'll find it there what you're talking about. They'll tell you that, but they don't tell you that. Why? Because, well, we go on to Isaiah chapter 44. I'm not going to read it all to you, but I just want you to know, let me see. Let's see. Isaiah chapter 44. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus the Lord had made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thy offspring. And they shall spring up as the morning unto the Lord, and surname themselves by the name of Israel. Thus say the King, thus say the Lord, the King of Israel, the Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first, I am the last, and besides me there is no God. And who as I should call and should declare it and set in order for me, since I appointed in Shem. And who's Shem? Melchizedek. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. All right, let me see. They make graven images. They make a graven image. All of their delectable things should not profit. May be ashamed. Who have formed a god or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing? Behold, his fellowship be ashamed, the workmen, they all of men. Let them all be gathered together, let them stand up. Yea, they shall fear, they shall be ashamed together. The smith with the tongs both worketh in the coal, and fashioneth with a hammer, and worketh with the strength of his arm. Yea, he is hungry, and his strength faileth. He drinketh no water, and is faint. The carpenter stretched out his rule. He maketh it out with a line. He fitted it with a planes. He marked it out with a compass. He made it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house. He hewed him down cedar, and taketh the cypress in the oak, which he strengthened it for himself among a tree of the forest, planted in ash, and rain do nourish it. Then shall he be for a man to burn. He will take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindled it. He baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god and worship it. And he maketh it a graven image and fall down thereto. He burneth part thereof in the fire, and part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasts his roast and is satisfied. Yea, he warmeth himself and say, Aha, I am warm. I have seen the fire. Oh, well, let me finish. And the residue thereof, let's see, the residue thereof he maketh a god in a graven image. He falleth down unto it and worship it, and prayeth unto it, and say, Deliver me, for thou art my God. They have not known nor understood, for he has shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand. And none consider in his heart, neither their knowledge nor understanding. My time is up for this one. Nor understand and say, I have burned part of it in the fire. Yea, I also bake bread upon the coals thereof. I have roasted flesh and eaten it, and shall make it the residue thereof of an abomination. Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree? He feedeth on ashes, deceived the heart that turned him aside, and he cannot deliver his soul, nor say, Is there not a lie in my right hand? Remember this, O Jacob and Israel, for thou shalt not be forgotten of me. And so now we get into that. We get into that. Just be patient. We get into that. Because I follow the Abraham. That's where that come from. That come from what I'm reading to you right now. All right. Okay. So let me finish. Let me finish. All right. So okay. So our father Abraham, behold, Merimon fell and could not raise his own temple, nor could I by myself move him until our father came, and two of us moved him and was slain. I could read that part to you too in the book of Isaiah. Yeah. So where it fell, he couldn't raise himself, it took us for a raiser. Yeah. He fell from, and I set upon another stone, another God. So he said that. A ruined nation, and their power is yang. Let's see. And their power is yang. They who did not help themselves, how shall they then help thee, O how shall then they help thee or bless me? I have been kind to them in this affair, because by using my intelligence, I have brought thee to the money for the broken gods. They tell him, say, because by me using my intelligence, I have brought thee the money for the broken gods. And when he heard my father's word, he became fiercely angry with me, because I had spoken hard words against his gods. And what makes this so bad that I'm reading this today? Now, I read this. I read this over the weekend. Went to Google what I needed to Google, everything. And I get right here in front of this camera, because if you go to the front of this camera, they have something that they have done to it. Yeah, they have something. Demon technology. When you're looking into it, I looked into it. And I saw what they have done. Yeah, oh yeah, they've done it. And so when you get in front of these cameras and things, and you find out that you're missing certain words and can't speak certain words, They have done it. Yes, they have done it. It's not you alone. Yeah. And so what I did was I went down there and I turned it all down. And then when I turned it all down, things got better for me. But when I got on this channel here now, I see that it got back like it was. But don't worry, I'm gonna muddle through it. Muddle through it. Lord God gonna help me to muddle through it because He wants you to have this message. And don't dismiss things, man. Investigate. If something happened to you that's usually don't happen to you, it's a reason for everything on the sun. So you should investigate and find out why. Okay. When he heard my words, he became fiercely angry with me because I had spoken hard words against his gods. However, having thought of over my father's anger went out. And after I had gone out, my father cried, saying, Abraham. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Take and collect the splinters of wood, out of which I made gods of pine wood, before thou camest, and make ready for me the food of. But it said, and it was on the forehead was written. Yeah, on the forehead, God Bazareth. My laughter. He, Lazarus, was gradually burnt up by the fire and reduced to ashes. And I brought the food to my father and did eat, and I gave him wine and milk. And he was glad and blessed his God Merrimonth. See, he was blessed and blessed the God of Merrimonth. And I said to him, O Father Terror, bless not the God Merrimonth and praise him not, but rather praise the God Bazareth, because loving thee more he had. And I said to him, O Father Terror, bless not the God Merrimonth and praise him not, but rather praise the God Bazareth, because loving thee more he had cast himself into the fire and cooked the food. That was for Abraham, man. For Abraham was highly intelligent, yeah. Because you got to remember when you go to the book of Passion, or the book of Jubilee, you find out that Father Abraham, when he was 10 years old, when Nimrod wanted to kill him at 10 years old. Yeah, they wanted to kill him at 10 years old. And he went into the cave, and at 10 years old, he went to live with Noah and Shem. Go read about it. Listen now. And more, but you won't find that in the Holy Bible. In the book of Hashim. All right. Bazareth, because loving thee more, he had cast into the fire and cooked thy food. And he said to me, Where is he now? And he said, He burnt to the ash, and in the violence of the fire is reduced to dust. And he said, Great is the power of Bazareth. I'll make another today, and tomorrow he will prepare my food. That's what he said he did. That's his daddy, Terah, doing that. Because Terah was, I guess he was the spiritual leader of Nimrod. We'll see. When Abraham, however, heard such words from my father, I laughed in my mind and sighed in grief and in the anger of my soul and said, How then can that which is made by him manufacture statues be a helper of my father? Manufacture statues could be a helper of my father. Or shall the body then be subject to its soul, and the soul to the spirit, and the spirit to the folly and ignorance? Let me read that again. Or should the body then be subject to its soul, and the soul to the spirit, and the spirit to the folly and ignorance? And I say it is fitting once to endure evil. So I will direct my mind to what is pure and lay my thoughts open before him. And I answered and said, O Father Terah, whichever of these thou praises as a god, thou art foolish in thy mind. Behold, the gods of thy brother Ora, O-R-A, will stand in the holy temple are more worthy of honor than these of thine. For behold, Zucas, it says Zucas, the god of my brother Oran, is more worthy of honor than thy god Merriman, because he is made of gold, which is higher valued by people. And when he groweth old in years, he will be, remodeled. But if your god Merriman is changed or broken, he will not be renewed, because he is a stone, the which is also the cause with the god Jeroboam. That would say Jeroboam, Joavr. And that's another thing. Just like I used to outward appearance, the adaptation of man, value to outward appearance. And that's what these people say. Take good care of them pastors. Oh, I want my pastor to have this. Old women, old men. Yeah, that's what they do. Oh, yeah. That's why you have Pastor Appreciation Day, Pastor Day, and all that stuff. Adaptation of man, value to outward appearance. But thy God Bazareth, while he was still before he had been prepared, rooted up upon the earth, and was great and wonderful with the glory of the branches and blossom. Thou didst hew out with the axe, and by means of thy art he had made unto a gall. And lo, his fatness is already withered and perished. He is fallen from the height to the ground. He hath come from the great estate to littleness, and the appearance of his countenance had vanished, and he Basra himself is burned up by fire and reduced to ashes, and is no more. And thou sayest, today I will make another which tomorrow shall make ready my food. He had perished utterly, he had perished to utter destruction. Behold, the fire is more worthy of honor than all things formed, because even that which is not subject is subjected unto him. And things easily perish or mocked by its flames. But even more worthy of honor in the water, because it conquered the fire and satisfied the earth. But even it I do not call God, because it is subjected to the earth under which the water inclineth. But I call the earth much more worthy of honor, because it overpowered the nature and in the fullness of the water. Even it, the earth, however, I do not call God, because its too is dried up by the sun, and it said, apportionate to man to be tilled. And because it what is raised illuminate the whole world in different atmospheres. But even I do not call God, because at night by clouds its course is obscured. Nor again do I call the moon, the stars, the God. Nor do I call moon or the stars God, because they also is their season obscured, their light at night. But hear this, terror, my father, for I will make known to thee that God hath made everything, not these we consider as God. Who then is he, or what is he, who had crimsoned the heavens and made the sun golden? And man, it's not like, because man, I used to love to watch, I don't do it too much no more. I used to love to like watch the sunrise and sunset and see that crimson. Yeah, then see that gold come up and that gold go down afterwards. It's a beautiful sight. Yeah. And the moon lustrous with its and tested me in the confusion of my thoughts. Yet my God revealed himself to us through himself. God hide New Orleans now. I know it's almost time for break. I'm gonna read till we get to part 2, then we can go to the break. Okay. And set thee and tested me in the confusion of my thought. Yet my God revealed himself to us through himself. And it came to pass while I spake thus to my father terror in the court of my house, there cometh down the voice of the mighty one from heaven, and a fiery cloud burst, set thee out from the house, that thou also be not slain in the sins of thy father's house. And I went out, and it came to pass when I went out, that before I succeeded in going out in front of the door of the court, there came a sound of a great thunder, and burned him and his house, and everything whatsoever in the house down to the ground, in his house, and everything whatsoever in the house down to the ground, 40 cubits. Now, on that part, we're going to take a break. But on that part, we're going to part 2. But on that part, in the book of Hashir, they said his father left with him, and he went to the other lands, and his brother got burned in the house. That's what it says. But we know how these things go, and we come into the gist of it now anyway. So don't worry about this video stopping and doing all those different things because I already know that it was gonna do that. That was the whole plan to get me to start going live. And once they get it go when I start going live, then they can interrupt the video like they wanted to interrupt it and get you frustrated and for you not to watch the video. But anyway, so just be careful. Give me a few minutes and we'll be back and start on part 2. Let's go. Going to part 2. Part 2. The gospel, the apocalypse of Father Abraham. Abraham received a divine command offered sacrifice after 40 days. Let's see. Because thou hast command thee in the place which I will show thee on the high mountain, and there I will show thee the ages which have been created and established, made and renewed by my word. And who is the word? The Lord God. To get it running here and there, and into this world, and into idols, and school, and all that foolishness. To still stand unto my people, and my people had taught me what these dreams and things, what they would have meant. And I will make known to thee what shall come to pass in them or those and practice righteousness in the generation of men. And repeat that. And I will make known to thee what shall come to pass in them on those who have done evil, practice righteousness in the generation of men. Then have proceeds Mount expand upon the firmament and the power of virtue and ineffectible name that is dwelling in me. So when he said the seven expand upon the firmament, the seven heaven. I told you that in Isaiah, book of Isaiah, when he went to seven heaven. And the power of virtue, ineffectible name that dwelleth in me. Now I am the one who have been given to restrain according to his commandments and threaten the attack of the living creatures of the cherubim against one another and to teach those who carry him to song of the seventh hour of the night of man. I am ordained to restrain the Leviathan, for unto me are subject to the attack and the menace of every single reptile. Well, to loosen Hades, destroy him who to destroy him who stareth at the dead. I am the one who was commissioned to set on fire the father's house together with him, because he displayed reverence of the dead idols. That's the one who destroyed his father's house. He did. Yeah. I've been sent to bless thee now at the land was the eternal one, who has invoked, had prepared for thee. For thy sake have I, let's see, wended my nose up and saw him who had grasped me by my right hand and set me upon my feet. And the appearance of his body was like sapphire, and the look of his countenance like crystal light, and his hair of his head like snow, and the turban upon his head like the appearance of the rainbow, and the clothing of his garment like purple, and a golden scepter in his right hand. And he said to me, now I had never seen that angel. I didn't see an angel, I never seen him. He said to me, Abraham, and I said, here am I, thy servant. He said, let not my look affright thee, nor my speech, that thy soul be perturbed. Come with me, and I will go with thee until the sacrifice visible. But after the sacrifice, invisible forever. So that's why we don't see him. He's still here. That's the angel of the Lord. He's still here. We just don't see him. Okay. Well, I mean, all I can do is tell you. He said, come with me. I will go 40 days and night. And I ate no bread and drank no water because of my food was to see the angel who was with me. And so that's how he was strengthened, by seeing that angel with him. That was his food. And his speech that he made, that was my drink. And we came to Mount of God, the glorious Horeb. And I said to the angel, singer of the eternal one, lo, I have no sacrifice with me, for I am aware of the place of the altar on the mountain. And how can I bring sacrifice? And he said to me, look around. And I looked around, and there was found us the prescribed sacrifice. The prescribed sacrifice of the animals, the young heifer, the she-goat, the ram, the turtle dove, and the pigeon. And the angel said to me, Abraham, when the eyes said, we see everything, but I don't see the sacrifice. And Abraham said, told us, God will supply. That was he told him. But that was in the I think in King James version. But the other version, that book of Hashab, he was the sacrifice. Yeah. Isaac was the sacrifice. So yeah, two different accounts. Now the account I go with the account of Hashab, because that's that sound, because I know that when you go in the book of Apocrypha, what Jason had did to the book, did to all our books. Those books wasn't that for Jason. Well, I don't want to do that. But anyway, so that's what he said. And he said to me, all these slaughter, divide the animals into half and one against the other. But the birds do not sever, but give to the men whom I will show thee standing by thee, for these are the altar, the mountain, and offer a sacrifice to the eternal. But the turtle dove and the pigeon give to me, for I will ascend upon the wings of the birds, in order to show thee in heaven and on earth, in the sea, in the abyss, and under the world, in the Garden of Eden, and its rivers, and in that the fullness of the whole world, in its circle, that thou shalt glaze them all. That's what he did. He showed them everything. He even took them to Abraham, accomplished the sacrifice under the guidance of the angel, refused to be diverted from the purpose of the Azazel. And I did everything according to the commandments of the angel, and gave the angels who had come to us, and divided animals, but the angel took the birds. So when you go to the book of Haggai, the love this for the dwelling place and of thy uncleanness. Therefore the eternal mighty Lord makes who follow thee love what thou willest. For behold, the vesture which is in heaven will formerly down has been set aside for him. And I told you again, say that's what we're going to take. We're going to take those angels in heaven places and transferred in the mortality which was his have been transferred to thee. So Abraham got immortality, and he gave Azazel mortality, because they're gonna be, they're gonna be casting that bottomless pit and burned up. Well, he's gonna tell you what he's gonna do to him. Yeah. Then the angel said to me, Abraham. Then the angel said unto me, Abraham. And I said, Here am I, thy servant. He said, Know henceforth that the Eternal One hath chosen thee. He whom thou lovest, be of good courage, and use this authority so far as I bid thee, against him who slandereth truth. The secrets of heaven and have rebelled. See, it's scattered all over the earth. That's we scatter all over the earth. That we say. See, yeah. Should I not be able to put him to shame who has scattered over the earth the secrets of heaven, and have rebelled against the mighty one, and saying to him, be thou the burning coal of furnace of the earth of heaven. And that's what Azazel did. Go read in the book of Enoch. He had rebelled against the mighty one, and said to him, Behold, thou the burning coals of the furnace of the earth. Go, Azazel, into the inaccessible parts of the earth. For thy heritage to be over those existing with thee, being born with the stars in the cloud, with the men whose portion thou art, and who through thy being exists, and thy enmity is justification. On this account, by thy prediction, disappear from me. And I uttered the words what the angel had taught me, and he said, Abraham. And I said, Here am I, thy servant. And the angel said to me, Answer him not, for God hath given him power, the will over those who do answer him. And so when you're in the church, I saw TGJ this morning. Yeah, it made them people, slap your partner, slap your neighbor and say amen. Slap your neighbor, isn't that worth some praise? So now you know what that's about, getting them to say amen and praise the Lord and all like that. And what they're praising, lies, half truth. Man, don't worry about that, this thing sticking and all that. That's not me. That's not me, because I was on Facebook, and Facebook didn't even do that yesterday. Facebook just ran on through by calling by surprise. Yeah, I called it by surprise. I did. I just went on that because I was testing it, and then I just stayed on there for about 3 hours. Went all over the book. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah. But anyway, so that's what the people do. That's what they got to do. They got to get you to say amen, and got to get you to say praise the Lord in those church house, synagogue, sanctuary, high place, and tabernacle. Now you know why. And the angel said to him, Answer him not, for God hath given him power, the will over those who do answer him. And that's what David said. Answer me, say amen. That's their answer. You say that, and you're right there. Now, rather, however much he speak, say, no. And the angel spake to me a second time, and said, Now, rather, however much he speak to thee, answer him not, that his will may have no free course in thee, because the eternal mighty one hath given him weight and will. See, God had given them weight and will. And you should know that when you go in church hours, yeah. Because when I used to be in there saying that bad thing, but when I stopped rising up and sitting down and saying everything changed. Everything changed for me, yeah. Because I knew the truth. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You say, Not rather I have much to speak to thee, answer him not, that his will may have no free course in thee, because the eternal and mighty one have given him weight and will. Answer him not. I did what was commanded by me of the angel. However much he spake to me, I answer nothing whatsoever. Abraham angel descend on the wings and the birds to heaven. And it came to pass when the sun went down, and lo, the smoke of a furnace, and the angels who had a portion of the sacrifice ascended from the top of the smoking furnace, and the angel took, guys, this is the way this book is written. Angel took with me the right hand, took with don't say me, say an angel took me with the right hand and set me on the right wing of the pigeon, and set himself on the left wing of the pigeon, of the turtle dove. And the birds had neither been slaughtered or divided. And he bore me into the borders of the flaming fire, and we ascended as we many winds to the heaven which was fixed upon the surface. And I saw on the air and on the height to which we ascended a strong light which it was impossible to describe. And lo, in the light of fiercely burning fire for people, many people of male appearance, all constantly changing in aspects and form, running and being transformed, and worshiping and crying with the sounds of words which I knew not. And I said to the angel, why hast thou brought me up here now? Because I cannot now see, for I am already grown weak, and my spirit departed from me. And he said to me, remain by me, fear not. And he whom thou seest come straight towards us with great voice of holiness, that is the eternal one who loveth thee. The eternal one who loveth thee. But himself thou cannot see, so it got to be God. But you couldn't see him. No man, they already said it was God. You couldn't see him. But let not thy spirit go faint on account of the loud crying, for I am with thee, strengthening thee. I am with thee, strengthening thee. Abraham told the angel uttered the celestial songs and prayed for enlightenment. And while he was yet spake, lo, the fire came against us round about, and the voice was in the fire like the voice of many waters, like the sound of the sea in its uproar. And the angel bent his head with me in worship, and as desired to fall down upon the earth in the high place, which was stood at one moment rose upright, but another rolled towards. And he said, only worship Abraham, utter the song that I have taught thee, because there was no earth to fall upon. He was in midair. There was nothing to fall upon. He was in midair. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I worship only and uttered the song which he had taught me. And he said, recite without ceasing. And I recited, and he also himself, and with me recited a song, eternal, mighty, holy El, God only supreme, thou who art self-originated, incorruptible, spotless, uncreated, immaculate, immortal, self-complete, self-illuminating, without father, without mother, unbegotten, exalting, fiery one. That's what he's telling me. Lover of man, benevolent, bountiful. And I know I can say it right, I just can't say it right. Benevolent, who receives the prayers of such as honor thee, and turn away from the requests of such as embarrassed with embarrassment of their provocation, who dissolveth their confessions of the world, which arise from the ungodly and righteous in the corruptible age, renewing the age of the righteous. So that's what's going to happen. He's going to destroy the corruptible age, and then when he destroy the corruptible age, the renewing age of the righteous shall come forth. That's what he's telling me. Thou, O light, shining before the light of the morning upon the creatures. Man, the light coming. You know the light coming, now he tell you that. Yeah. Before the light comes, O light shining before the light of the morning comes upon the creature. So before the sun rises, you're going to see the light of the Lord thy God. So that it become a day upon the earth. In thy heavenly dwelling place there is no need of any other light in that of the unspeakable splendor from the light of thy conscience. Accept my prayer and be well pleased with it. And so when you go, when you tell you about the holy tabernacle, the holy temple that we're all going to be, because that's what it's about. People don't understand that what it's about. And they tell you there ain't no need of light there because he is the light. All right, all I can do is tell you. It said the heavenly dwelling place, there is no need of any light, that of the unspeakable splendor from the lights of thy countenance. Accept my prayer and be well pleased with it. Likewise, also the sacrifice which thou hast prepared, thee through me who sought thee. Accept me favorably and show me and teach me and make me know thy service as thou hast promised me. And Abraham vision of the divine throne. Now he saw God, but he couldn't look upon God, but he did see him. And while I was still reciting the song, the mouth of the fire, which was on the surface, rose up on high, and I heard a voice like the roaring of the sea. I'm stopping there for a second. I told you, when Satan had disguised himself and came and saw me, I know it was him. And so while he was speaking, I had this light that keep look out of oil lamp that keep lit. And boy, when that thing, I seen that fire raise up. I told you raised up in a straight line. Yes, I know that it was a spiritual thing going on. Yes, I knew God was there. Yeah, when I saw that fire raised straight up, and he was talking to God. He was lying on my bed. And when he was lying down on my bed, his face was pointing towards heaven. He was talking to God. But just that I woke up. Yeah, man, when he be doing things like that, I wakes up. But I don't say nothing. I don't think I could say anything if I tried, but I don't say nothing. I just say that I just watch. And so if I watched for a little while, and I heard him tell God, "Don't you worry." I know he was speaking to God because he talked to God, man. When he talked to God, whew, he said, "Don't you worry about that. You just worry about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah, about your people getting." He said, "Don't you worry about it. Worry about keeping your promise that you have made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Keep your covenant which you have made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." That's something to that effect. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nor did it cease on account of the rich abundance of the fire. And as the fire raised itself up, ascending into the height, I saw under the fire a throne of fire, and round about it all seeing one, reciting the songs under the throne of four fiery living creatures, saying their appearance was one, each one of them with four faces, such as was the appearance of the countenance, as a lion, of a man, of an axe, and of an eagle. And I thought, well, this is all through the Bible. Four heads was upon their bodies, so that four creatures had 16 faces, and each had 6 wings. From their shoulder and their sides and their loins, and with the 2 wings from their shoulder they covered their faces, and with 2 wings which sprang from their loins they covered their feet, and with the other 2 middle wings they spread out for flying straight forward. And when they had ended the singing, they looked at one another and threatened one another. And it came to pass, when the angel who was with me saw that they were threatening each other, he left me and went running and to them and turned the countenance of each living creature from the countenance immediately, confronting him, in order that they might not see their countenance threaten each other. And he taught them the song of peace, which had its origin in the eternal one. And as I stood alone, as I stood alone and looked, I saw behind the living creature a chariot with fiery wheels, each wheel full of eyes round about, and over the wheels was a throne. And I saw this was covered with fire, and the fire encircled it around about. And lo, I am indescribable fire say, embarred a fiery host, embarred a furious host, embarred, let's say, embarred a fiery host. Now, for me reading that, I also noticed that Ezekiel started the same thing. See, a lot of things that happened to Father Abraham, a lot of things that happened to people after in the Holy Scriptures, we find out a lot of those things happened to Father Abraham first. That's what we find out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And say, inscribe with fire, and say, invert a fiery host. Is this say invert? It say invert. Well, invert. On no single expanse is there any other but he whom thou hast sought, or whom have loved thee. And while he was just speaking, and lo, the expanse opened, and beneath me the heavens, and I saw upon the seventh firmament, upon which I stood, a fire widely extended, and a light and dew, and a multitude of angels, and a power invincible, glory over the living creatures which I saw, but no other being did I see there. And then another thing, when you read that, you remember Paul said he was called up to the seventh heaven, Apostle Paul. So we know more than these was called up to the seventh heaven, right? All right, seven heaven upon I stood, a fire widely extended, light and dew, and a multitude of angels, and power invisible, glory over the living creatures, what I saw, but no other being did I see there. And I looked from the mountain in which I stood downwards in the sixth firmament, and saw there a multitude of angels of pure spirit, without bodies, who carried out the commands of the fiery angel, who was upon the eighth firmament, and I was standing suspended over them. I saw those creatures. I saw the angels of the sixth heaven. I did, because they had no clothes on, and it was bright. It wasn't the first time I saw them. I'll tell you, hopefully that Lord God permit me to tell you about it. I know, I'm going to tell you about it. Yeah. You see, look, I looked at the mountain which I stood down was the sixth firmament, and saw a multitude of angels of pure spirit, without bodies, and carried out the commands of the fiery angels, who was upon the eighth firmament, and was standing suspended over them. And behold, upon this firmament there were no other powers of any other form, but only angels of pure spirit, like the powers which I saw on the seventh firmament. And he commanded that the sixth firmament should be taken away. And I saw there on the fifth firmament the powers of the stars, which carried out the commands laid upon them, and the elements of the earth obeyed. And I know Star Man, he would like that. Yeah. But that's when you see where the stars start at in the fifth heaven. The stars carry out the commands upon them, the elements obey them. The promise of the seed. An eternal mighty one said to me, Abraham, Abraham. And I said, here am I. And he said, consider from above the stars which are beneath thee, and number them for me. And if thou make known to me their number, and I say, when can I? For I am but a man of dust and ash. And he said to me, as the numbers of the stars and their power, in my heritage, what? Azazel. That was he told him. Say, I will make thy seed a nation, and with a people set apart with me in my heritage with Azazel. So you have two people. You have his heritage, me and my heritage with Azazel. So you got even and wicked and demon seed. Oh yeah. Oh, and that's what it said. So you got his heritage, and you got an evil people along his heritage. You got Jacob's children, and you have those that say they're Jews but are not. Yeah. I mean, you might not see it that way, but that's the way it is. Yeah, I can go to the book of how then, while he is not now before thee, hast thou constituted thyself with him? Constituted thyself with him. Man, I mean, I'm speaking. have constituted ourselves with him. And he said to me, look now beneath the feet of the firmaments, and understand the creatures foreshadow the surface of the feet. And I saw beneath the sixth heaven and what was therein, and beings movement and destructions of the world on his account. And I saw their streams and the rising of their waters in their windings. And I saw there the garden of Eden and its fruits and the source of the stream issuing for it, and its trees in their bloom, and those who behaved righteously. I saw they in their food and their blessedness. Well, let me stop right there for a minute. So he said, and I saw the garden of Eden and its fruits and the source of the streams issuing from it, and the trees in their bloom, and those who behave righteously. And I saw therein the foods and the blessedness. And I saw there a great multitude, men and women, children, half of them on the right side of the picture, and half of them on the left side of the picture. That's what we saw. And I say, O eternal mighty one, what is the picture of the creatures? And he said to me, this is my will with regard to those who exist in the divine world council. Council, that's what it said. It seemed well pleasing for my sight, and then afterwards I gave commandment to them through my word, and it came to pass whatever I have determined to be was already planned before in this picture, and it stood before me ere it was created as thou. After all, Lord God is waiting for certain things to happen. And then where Father God is waiting for 30 certain things. These which are on the left side are the multitude of the people which have formerly been in existence, which are after the disdain, some for judgment and the restoration, and others for vengeance and destruction at the end of the world. And you know you're at the end now. Yeah. But these which are on the right side of the picture, they are the people set apart for me of the people with Azazel. These are they whom I have ordained to be born of thee and to be called my people. Now, those are people, that's who we are. We are Abraham's people. We are God. Let's go. And say, look again in the picture. And who is it? Who, and say, look again in the picture. Who it is who seduced Eve, and what is the fruit of the tree? And thou wilt know what there should be, and how it should be to thy seed. Among the people at the end of days of the age, and so far as they cannot understand, I'll make known to thee. For thou art well pleasing in my sight, and I will tell you what is kept in my heart. Man, that's a powerful statement right there. Why? Because God himself, and no man knows the heart of God, and God himself gonna tell Father Abraham what's in his heart. Powerful. That's some powerful stuff there. Oh, so he said, among the people at the end of days of the age, that's who we are. Let me read the whole thing. Now look again at the picture, who seduced Eve, and what is the fruit of the tree. And thou wilt know what shall be, and how it shall be to thy seed among the people at the end of the days of the age. So far as thou cannot understand, I will make known to thee, for thou art well pleasing in my sight, and I'll tell thee what is kept in my heart. And I looked in the picture, and my eyes ran to the side of the Garden of Eden, and I saw there a man very great in height, fearful in breadth, incomparable in aspect, embracing a woman who likewise approximated to the aspect, the shape of the man. Now, let me stop there for a minute. Because when you go, I'll read it to you again. You go read it for yourself. I'm going to read it to you again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He told you. He said, in a tree, and the fruit of this tree was like the appearance of a bunch of grapes of the vine. And behind the tree was standing as it were a serpent in form, having hands and feet like a man's, and wings on his shoulder 6, and on the right side 6, and on the left side, and on the left there was holding the grapes of the tree in their hands. Both was eating it, whom I had seen embracing. And I say, who are these mutually embracing? And of whom is this whom is between them? Or what is the fruit which they are eating, Almighty Eternal One? And he said, this is the human world. As he told him, say, this is the human world. This is Adam, and this is their desire upon the earth. This, let me say, this is Eve, but he who is between them represents ungodliness. That's the serpent. And there being on the way the prediction, even Isaiah there. And there being on the way even the prediction, even Isaiah there, because you know, during that time, you got to understand that was Satan that first had been kicked out of heaven. Then later on, the fallen, that's in the book of Enoch, I read that to you. And later on, the fallen angels, they chose to come down to earth and take wives of their own and corrupted everything in its own way, all over the world. That was Father God is telling you. Okay. All right. And he said, O eternal mighty one, why hast thou given so much power to destroy the nation of men and their works upon the earth? And he said to me, I'm going to be finished in a few minutes. Not finished, but finished and taking a break. And he said to me, there who will do evil, and how much I hate it. And repeat that. And he said to me, there who will to do evil, and how much I hated it. And those who do it, he hate evil and he hate those who do it. Oh, lady, let me repeat. Over them I gave him power, and to be beloved of them. He gave the devil power. He gave Azazel power. And that's what you're seeing right now today. He said, they who do evil, and those who do it, how much I hate it, and those who do it. Over them I gave him power, and to be beloved of them. So they love the people that are doing evil and all that stuff. They love doing it. Oh yeah, they love it. That's what he said. Reside in the hearts of men, since thou indeed art angered over that which was willed by thee, at him who is doing what is impossible in thy counsel. And he said to me, being angry at the nations on the account and on thy account in the picture, the burden of destiny that is laid upon them, and I will tell thee what shall be and how much shall be in the last days. And that's what we showed. That's where we at right now. We are there. Yeah. I'm going to read it to you one more time. And he said to me, being angry at the nations, all of them, because we are in every nation, kindred, and tongue, on thy account, and on account of thy people of the family who are to be separated after thee. You see? The people of thy family who are to be separated after thee. Slavery. Yeah, that's what he's telling them. That's what he's telling and showing right now. Read it again. Being angry at the nations on thy account and on account of the people of thy family who are to be separated after thee, as thou seest in the picture the burden of destiny that is laid upon them. And I will tell thee what shall be and how much shall be in the last days. And that's where he showed that we were separated from the family, all is separated, all up in slavery. And that's how it was kicked off. All right, gotta take a break. You know, I gotta take a break. People who have leg issues and everything, they gotta stand up or do whatever they need to do, walk around and come back. But you also, you know, I'm taping this, so don't stress. But you know, when I tell you this is the last. This is it. This is the last. The Lord God give me something after this, that's fine. But if He doesn't, you know that I've been told you everything. Not everything yet, but as I get to it, I want to tell you everything. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's take a break. Go ahead. What about you? Not worried about you. What about you? Not worried about you. What about you? So let's go in on. Let's keep it going. Keep it going, man. All right. So now we know that we get into God is telling Father Abraham what was going to happen to us right now today as we are in the situation that we are in right now today. As Father God telling them what's going to happen to us, what's happening to us right now. So I'll read that one more time, and then we move on. And he said to me, being angered at the nation on thy account. Say, being angered at the nations on thy account, in account of thy people, of the family who are to be separated after thee. As thou see in the picture the burden of the destiny that is laid upon them, and I will tell thee what shall be and how much shall be in the last days. You know that you are in the last days. Look now at the everything. Look now at everything in the picture. And I looked and saw that there was before me in creation, I saw Adam, Eve resisting with him, and with them the cunning adversary, and Cain, who acted lawless through the adversary. So when you talk about acting lawless, these are the people that can do anything they want to do. Say any one thing, go as they want, because they're lawless. They're not under God. Yeah, they're not under God. So in the slaughter Abel, and destruction both in the cause upon through the lawless one, I saw there also impurity in those who lust after it, and its pollution, and their jealousy, and the fire of their corruption, and the lower parts of the earth. And I saw their theft, and those who hasten after it, and the arrangement of the retributions, and the judgment of the great asses. I would say asses. I saw their naked men, the forehead against each other, and their disgrace and their passion which they had against each other, and their retribution. I saw their desires in the hand, in her hand, the head of every kind of lawlessness, in her scorn, in her waist, a sign to prediction. I saw the likeness of the idol of jealousy, having the likeness of woodwork, such as my father was wont to make, and its statues was of glittering bronze, and before it a man, and worshipped it. In front of him an altar, and upon it a boy slain in the presence of the idol. The sacrificing a boy in the presence of the idol. That's what he's showing. Yeah. Glittering bronze, and before it a man, and he worshipped it. And in front of him an altar, and upon it a boy slain in the presence of the idol. Sacrificing boys to the idol. I mean, I told you about a dream I had one time. Yeah, we tried to. Can't think of it. Can't think of it. Yeah. Now we said the glory that lie beneath the throne. And he said, here, Abraham, that which thou seest, the temple and the altar and the beauty is the idea of the priesthood of the glorious name. He said, that which thou seest, the temple and the altar and the beauty is my idea of the priesthood of my glorious name, in which dwelleth every single prayer of man, in the rise of kings and prophets, and whatsoever sacrifice are ordained to be offered to me among my people who are to come out of thy generation. So that's all, that's everybody, that's all of us who came from Father Abraham. The kings chosen and the ordained, all those, they come from Abraham himself. And if God tell you who he come from. All right. You say here, Abraham, that which thou seest, the temple and the altar and the beauty is my idea of the priesthood and of my glorious name, in which dwelleth every single prayer of man, and the raise of kings and prophets, the rise of kings and prophets, whatsoever sacrifice kings and prophets, the rise of kings and prophets, whatsoever sacrifice I ordained to be offered to me among my people who are to come out of thy generation. But the statute with thy swords is my anger. That's what he said. The statute with thy sword is my anger. And you know who God hates. So me who are proceed for me from thee. Now that's us. So once again, making God angry, making him angry. Murderous sacrifices, which are a witness to me of the final judgment, even at the beginning of creation. The final judgment, even at the beginning. And that's what Lord God told. I told you the end at the beginning. That's what he told you. That's what he told. That's what that means. All that means. Just like when in the book of Hashum, when Father Abraham go get that lamb, and he told him that lamb will turn the mighty one. Whosoever hast thou established that it should be so, and then proclaim the knowledge thereof. And he said to me, hear, O Abraham, understand what I say to thee, and answer me as I question thee. Why did thy father Terah not listen to thy voice? And why did not he cease from the devilish idolatry until he perished and his whole household with him? And I said, on O eternal mighty one, O eternal mighty one, was entirely because he did not choose to listen to me. But I too did not follow his words. See? He didn't listen, and Abraham, and that's what I did, listen to me. And then he said, but I too did not follow his words. And that's why I got out of this church house and thing. Now I ain't following that foolishness. Yeah, I was in there always sick, something always happening, always in some distressful and stressful situation. So when I got out of there and started keeping God's commandment, keeping the Holy Covenant, all that foolishness went away from me. None of that's happening. And when you get back and bind God forever covenant, you'll see. You'll see. He said to me, hear, Abraham, as the counsel of thy father is in him, as thy counsel is in thee, so also the counsel of my will is also the counsel of my will in me, ready for the coming days, before thou hast knowledge of these, or canst with thy eyes what is the future in them, or canst see with thy eyes what is the future in them, how those of thy seed will be looked. They'll see what he saw. And I looked and saw, lo, the pitcher swayed from it, emerged. Yeah, the pitcher swayed, and from it emerged on its left side a heathen people that privileged those who were on the right side. A heathen people that privileged those that was on the right side. Men, women, and children. Some they slaughtered, others they retained with themselves. And lo, I saw with them run towards them through four entrances. And they burnt the temple with fire, and the holy things that were therein they plundered. And I said, O eternal one, lo, the people that sprang from me, whom thou hast accepted, the hordes and the heathen do plunder. So they kill, while others they hold fast as aliens. And the temple that they had burnt with fire, and the beautiful things therein they do rob and destroy. O eternal mighty one, if this be so, wherefore hast thou now lacerated my heart? Why should this to be? See, cut him. Yeah. Go cut him to the heart, cut him to the quick. That's going out. Yeah. And he said to me, hear, Abraham, what thou hast seen should happen on account of thy seed, who angered me by the reason of the statute with thy swords, on account of the human slaughter in the picture, thy true zeal in the temple, and thou sawest God. We got a God, a chosen God. All we got to do is worship him. And he's going to make sure everything, that's what he's been doing over the years, centuries, whatever. He's been making sure that we have everything in abundance and much, much more. And he made all the people that's unrighteous and unholy, unput out our people, what we want to do. We want to serve the gods of wood, stone, fire, rain, and all that, so we get what we deserve. That's what's going on. But you got to change. You can repent. You can repent. But your time, and he said to me, "Here, Abraham, what thou hast seen shall happen on account of thy." Then when I read the book of Esdras, it said 4, who went in slavery in Babylon. I guess that's 3, and the slavery that you're in now, that's the 4th, huh? I'm just saying. He showed me a multitude of his people and said to me, on account through 4 issues, as thou sawest, on account of 4 issues, I shall be provoked by them, and these my retribution for their deeds shall be accomplished. But in the 4th outgoing of the 100 years, in 1 hour of the age, the same as 100 years. 1 hour of the age is still the same as 100 years. It should be misfortunate. And I have ordained of the ungodly age 12 among the heathen, and in thy seed until the end of times. It shall be as thou sawest, and do into the picture. So he showed me Father Abraham. And I looked and saw a man going out from the left side of the heathen, where went out men and women and children from the side of the heathen, and many hosts, and he worshiped him. And while I still looked, there came out from the right side many, and some insulted that man while I struck him, and others, I gotta read that again. I'm sorry, I gotta read that again. I have to. Let me tell you why I have to read this again. I'll tell you why I have to read this again. Because you know, from the side of the heathen, many hosts and worshiped him. And while I still looked, they came out from the right side many. Some insulted, others, however, worship him. Now, you got 2 sides coming out. You got some coming out from the heathen side, and some coming out from Abraham's side, the righteous side, or we say Abraham's side. And they worshiping this who? Who they worshiping? Lord God Jesus, man. He put it all there for us. Yeah, but we, man, come on, bro. You know how we are, bro. Come on, man. You know, before I go out, you know how we are, bro. And I knew about everything, the schoolhouse and all that foolishness. I knew about all that. But to know myself, you got to know yourself. And that's one thing you got to do. You got to be able to know yourself, and you got to be able to tell somebody, hey, man, I was wrong. You got to be able to say, man, forgive me. I didn't have to do that. I'll do better next time. And that's what King David did. When King David repented, you got to know yourself. All right. Okay, and some assaulted the man while some struck him. Others, however, worshiped him. And I saw these worship him. And Azazel reigned and worshiped him, and having kissed his face, he turned and stood behind him. The devil himself worshiped him. Now I said, O eternal mighty one, who is this man and saw the beaten who is worshipped by the heathen with Azazel? And he answered and said, Here, Abraham, that man whom thou sawest insulted and beaten again. And in the 12th hour of the age of the ungodliness, now that's where you at, but heathen who set their hopes upon him, as from those whom thou sawest from thy seed on the right side, some insulting and striking, other worshippers testing those who had worshipped him of thy seed in thy 12th hour of the end, with a view to shortening the age of ungodliness. And the Lord God told, unless those days be short, no flesh should be saved. But when they give out to start giving them, man, it's going to be pressure. You think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. You ever been hungry before? I was hungry one time in my life. Only one time in my life I could remember being hungry. One time in my life. And the only reason why I was hungry at that time because I didn't tell my mom to fix no food. And I went out and played. And so back coming up the projects and stuff, they used to have these plastic. You remember them? Don't act like them. They used to have this the vinyl chairs, the vinyl kitchen table set. And man, I had baked some biscuits. I never broke over one of the can of biscuits, and I baked those biscuits. And boy, that pan was hot. I took that pan out there. It was hot. I was a child. Children don't know nothing. I never been burnt before. And so I took that pan out that thing and put it in my hand. It was hot. And so I took it and dropped it on my mama chairs. And I burnt that chair. Man. And then my mom came and said, what happened, son? I said, Mom, I was hungry. Just like that. And she didn't say nothing. Age of righteousness is beginning to grow. My judgment shall come upon the lawless heathen through the people of thy seed. And that's what happened now. And so when you go in this book right here, oh man, forget it. The book of Enoch, it's in the book of Enoch too, but in this book right here, and our fathers tell you that the minute Israel repent with their whole heart, that's the minute the kingdom of the enemy, and our fathers tell you, comes down. So you have to watch a true Israel. This is what it's about. It's about you watching true Israel, God's chosen people, not the Jews. God's Israel, God's chosen people. Because when we are all to all nation, kindred, and keeping all God's commandments and God's holy covenant, depending upon law, just like it's written, and depending upon Jesus himself being baptized in Jesus' name and receiving the Holy Ghost, that's the day the enemy of the kingdom ends. Righteousness begins and the enemy of the kingdom ends. That's what it tells you. Man, listen, bro, all I can do is give it to you as he has given it unto me. I'm reading it to you. All right, well, go read the first and second book of Elders. And just finish reading that to you. That they are corrupted. Come out of her, my people. That's what the Lord God tells you. How can you get rid of something? Okay. We all been in bad relationships. We all right. And what makes it so good about this, some things under these pastors and preachers, and all they telling me about the monies and God wants you, which is going now. My separated from me. In those days I will bring upon all creatures of earth 10 plagues. Serve what? All these gods. That's what he told. Now let's read it again. I'm gonna read it one more time. Before the age of righteousness began to grow, by my judgment shall come upon a lawless heathen. Methuselah. All the righteous, just like right how all these good and talk about how this person was good and how this person was righteous and everything. So the righteous and the good. Okay. So that's when that number is reached. I know when that number is reached. It's going to be reached. I know when it's going to be reached. All right. I saw a devastated scene now. They say the place prepared beforehand for them. So we know that once we go back in the wilderness, that all this is going to be destroyed. All right. You got to stop looking at it as, let's see. Just like you said, the righteous begin to grow. Build and establish through sacrifice and gifts of righteousness. So, with sacrifices mean that you're not doing everything like the heathen. You know all that foolishness also. And you're not running, but you got to keep the covenant there. You have to. All right. Let me keep going. All right. My patient, like he told you, they're going to be spitting in each other's face. All right. Well, let me keep going. All right. My people in receiving those and take full knowledge of what thou hast come to. Well, all right. Well, you just go ahead on think that you're in control and things will go back like they're gonna be. You're not. Okay. When you see Satan come on the scene, then you know. Then you know. All right. You say The 10 plagues what I had prepared for the heathen. See, 10 plagues what I had prepared for the heathen, I had prepared beforehand at the passing over the 12th hour of the earth. Hear what I divulge to thee, so shall it come to pass. And the first pain of great distress, and that's what you're living in right now. Great distress, because that's coronavirus. You don't know what's going on. You don't. And the second, conflagration of many cities. The third, destruction and pestilence of the animals. Fourth, and the voice of the destructive earthquake. Now you guys see this right here. The punishment by the sword, the fight, distress of the tent, thunder, voices, and destruction of the earthquake. But you got to also go back to no, it says, for the fifth destruction among the rule destructions by the fifth. The ruler send my elect one, having in him all my power, one measure, and those I have insulted, who have insulted them, and who have ruled among them in this age. And I will give those who I have covered me mockery to the scorn of the coming age. And I have prepared them to be food for the fire of Hades, and the body and all that gonna pass away anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah. Them tattoos that look all so fresh and new now, they're gonna rankle with your skin. That look all so fresh and new now, they're gonna rankle with your skin. That all that beautiness that you have in it will give you the length until what? Because I did a live broadcast yesterday, but I don't know if this gonna come back, because like I told you, once I get live, that's it. So you're waiting for the consummation of the 144,000. Now, when the 144,000 go out, you know that we gone. All right. So let me tell you. I can like a seed or something like that. I'm like that. And so I get that, hit something else. So when I get that, then I start growing. And then I grow in this tube, and in the tube, I get a little bigger, and I go in another spot. And then I get a little bigger, I go in another spot. And I grow, and as I'm growing and getting into the spot where I'm at, getting smaller and smaller, because I'm getting bigger and bigger. Then all of a sudden, man, I can remember so much being in my mama's belly. But all of a sudden, man, I said, man, it gets small in here. Man, I said, I ain't got no room to move around or nothing. Then all of a sudden, I hear this water gushing out. And then the water gushing out, the stomach gets small, and boom, I was birthed. Now, I remember a few things little here and there after that. Certain things I don't remember, I have no recollection of it. But also, I'm just telling you, now you gotta believe it, I'm just gonna tell you. And so also, so when I was on that piece of dirt, and after I did what thus say the Lord, yeah. I ain't telling you that. But after I said, thus say the Lord truly blessed me. Did he bless me? Oh, did he bless me? Hopefully I say that. If the Lord God bring me back, I'll say that. But anyway, so when I was on that piece of dirt, did he bless me? Man, Lord God, I'm talking about, oh, did he bless me? Hopefully I say that. If the Lord God bring me back, I'll say that. But anyway, so when I was on that piece of dirt, did he bless me? Man, Lord God, I'm talking about spiritual blessing. Because I was obedient. When I was obedient, man, the Lord God started sending them holy angels one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another, all white. Britches. He gave me all of that. Oh yeah, he gave me all of that. Yes, he did. All right. Staff, books. So that's how I got these books. Yeah. So all these things he's giving unto me, he wants to give unto you. Also, I read to you about the plagues and things that you're going to get. Now, you got to remember the 10 plagues. We already been started. And you know, dropping bombs all around us. There was in a big old ship. The bombing was playing out. They could not stop it. I was with this lady. We went down the back row where the bombs was falling. They was they was firing the bombs from the ship, and as they fired exit ramp, I took one and waited for her. I took one and waited for her. I took one of the ramps and waited. She decided which one she wanted to take. We took the same ramp and held the doors open until she and I departed through the double doors. Yeah, that was. I mean, I can't tell you when that dream was. I can't tell you when that dream or vision was. Can't tell you. The train. The police on the train said Texans are here. One of the police said they are Texans. Were on horses, black ones. They started shooting. I saw them shoot at least two of the soldiers. They had on these old uniforms, gray coats, looked like the wool hats. After they robbed the train, they were at the end of the line, 3 tracks. The men, at least 3 of them, was putting a ride through the curtains. A woman, white dress in a white nightgown. A woman, white dressed in a white nightgown, said, "There are these curtains." Said, "What are these curtains doing here, James?" And he replied, "We have a long time, Anna." She walked over to the tracks and stood on the left side of him and said, why we wouldn't have, James? Why we wouldn't have a long time? Your time is up. Well, thank God for you. Thank God that I was able to give you a message through me, because now you know the message has been given. You know what the message is, and you can go to these books. All these books are online. You can go read them for yourself. But it's not going to do you no good if you're not keeping all God's commandments back in the blindfold covenant, and you're jumping in and out on this and that side of the fence and straddling the fence and the church house and all that. That's not going to do you no good. You got to come completely out of my people and trust Him. Man, it's not like trusting the Lord and having faith, and get away from these teachings of these people and learn of the Lord God Himself, because He wants you to have the knowledge of Him. That's what He wants you to have. And you know that what hour that you are in, the last, well, you can't say last hour, but you're in the 12th hour. That paper been given out. This is not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, see the Lord of hosts. I'm Elijah. I don't know when it's going to be next time.